It's the one and the only show. It's the Luke Howard Show Live. Wow, audience, thank you very much. Thank you. I love the audience, they're absolutely brilliant. Morning. It's Wednesday the 27th of May. Another day, another show. Great to have your company today. Lots to talk about on the show today. And we've got a cracking paper review to start the show on the show today. But first of all, I hope everyone's well. And I hope your day's going very well as well. Now, we record the show and it comes out around about 10ish now. That's the new thing that we do. So, so I record it the day before in the afternoon, and then after that, what I do is I post it out after that, and which is obviously at 10 a.m. Around about that sort of time-ish. So we try and get it out for and around that time. So first of all, I just want to do a thank you to the Lads Sweet Shop in Royston for giving me a load of chocolate yesterday. Ever so nice, kind people. Love them to bits. They're amazing. It opens back up on the 15th of June, so do go there as well. And of course, another big shout out to Toby Archer, my boss, as well, as usual. He's very famous. He gets a lot of mentions on this show, and of course for free, for nothing. So, so great mention to him, and of course all my Buntingford friends as well, in Buntingford. Local people they are. They're local friends, they're all local people. They're local and they're local friends, and it's great to have local people and local friends in your local community, and I'm sure you've got it as well. I mean, I know I haven't seen any of them for a while. I don't get out very much at this moment, but if I do go out into the town, I go out with my dad or my mother, so I haven't actually got quite out there at the moment. I mean, there has been a lot going on with me at the moment, of not going out with all this going on. So I just want to apologise for the ones I usually go and see that I can't get out very much at this moment. So I'm starting off with a moan. I'm talking about schools. Now, I think we spoke about this the other week, but I want to get this off my chest and let me roots go. Not let me roots, but I just want to let it get out of my head. This because schools are going back this Monday, the 1st of June. Now, to be honest, I don't really think they should, to be honest, because how are they going to social distance? Now, when I spoke to Piers Bloomfield last week about this, he said to me that he doesn't think it's right, that they shouldn't go back at all because they can't social distance, and he agreed with me. So, okay, so primary schools are preparing to reopen to pupils on Monday next week with social distancing in classrooms and playgrounds. Now, how are they going to do it? How are they going to social distance? It's very hard, because when they try it, they can't do it because they're all going to be sitting on other tables. Are they going to sit opposite each other? It's going to be hard, and it's going to be very, very hard. And I think it might not work. I don't think it will work. It's very hard. I don't actually think that it will work. And it's going to, in playgrounds as well, playtimes. What are they going to do? Are they going to extend their playtime? Are there break times? Are they going to extend it? I mean, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? 07593 847 105 is the number to text or call, or you can phone us, of course. Gary J. Howard 68 at hotmail.com is the email to email, or 345 457 at student.hrc.ac.uk is the other email, or at the Luke Howard fan page on Instagram is the Instagram page, or you can use hashtag Luke Howard Show, hashtag stay at home and listen to the Luke Howard Show. We'd love to hear from you what you think about this. So, a glimpse of how the immediate future will look was given by Frances Swallow, head of Marsden Infant School and Nursery School in Huddersfield in Yorkshire. So this, as she mentioned, out 2 metre distance between tablets, tables, where did I get that from? Tables with the help of teaching assistant Sarah Yates. I think they're really putting their lives at risk, teachers are, really, to let them all go back in. They're not going to be doing school meals. They have to bring their own packed lunches in, because obviously I don't think there's going to be any meals or catering staff going to be there to help. So they're not having that. So they've got to bring their own packed lunch in, and playtime's going to be longer, and it's going to be hard. I think that's what I think. It's going to be very, very hard. So, while their efforts is to meet government advice, they seem perfectly responsible. Other schools have been accused of going too far. One of those is Hollywell Village School in Northumberland, which revealed that its plans on its Facebook page is safety measures, which include hula hoop bubbles to help keep children as young as 4 apart in the playground. So they set times for people to go to the loo, encouraging the toilet, to encouraging them to change. Now, why don't they just let them go wherever? So stations now, stations and in train stations, normally they have in with the commuters have been made quiet the other day, despite train operators across the country ramping up services. Network Rail, which messages Britain's 20 busiest stations, said that passenger numbers were very similar to last week, and then they were 93% below average. Extra people and police and security personnel were on duty to deal with any crowding. But many major stations, such as London Euston, Birmingham New Street and Reading, were quiet during the morning peak. But for much of the rush hour staff managing social distancing rules, now outnumbered passengers at Clapham Junction in southwest London. I know exactly where Clapham Junction is. My friend's father's got a building site there, so I know it very, very well. So this was in Clapham Junction, which I know quite well, in southwest London. Crowd control barriers were not required. Daniel Croft, 37, a security guard who travels twice a week from Darlington to London King's Cross, which I think is a very long way from up north to London, twice a week, said the trains have been completely empty. This is Victor Stringer, 69, who was returning to Peterborough after finishing work in the capital, commented that it's been quiet. He said, it's been quiet, and I could almost have realised my boyhood dream of riding up front of the driver. After running rail services at 50% off the normal timetable in decent weeks, industry body, the Rail Delivery Group, increased them to 70% the other day, and it came amid fears of a rise in demand after the government urged people in England to go to work if they cannot do their job from home. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are working today who are not working from home. I know there are people who are working from home, and I know there isn't people working from home. But if you can work from home, I would suggest you should try your best at the moment to work from home. Now, we know retail shops now, and a lot of other shops are going to be reopening on the 15th of June. It was going to be the 1st of June, but car retailing shops are supposed to open on the 1st of June, and then other shops are supposed to be open on the 15th of June. And they're also looking at reopening restaurants up at the beginning of July. So it should be all okay by September, do you think? Do you think it'll be alright by September, people out there? I mean, it might be, it could be okay, and I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it'll be alright. So Network Rail, which manages Britain's 20 busiest stations, said that passenger numbers were very similar to last week, when they were 93% below the average. Extra police and security personnel were on duty to deal with any overcrowding, but many major stations, such as London Euston, Birmingham New Street and Reading, as I said, were very quiet. So Daniel Croft, we said that, didn't we? And it was they also said it was so quiet that he could almost have realised. We said that. The Rail Delivery Group, we said that after the government urged people in England to go to work if they cannot do the job from home, as I said. But they have been advised to avoid using public transport. But if you can go to work and you don't drive, how else are you supposed to use public transport? Very hard. Passengers using London North Eastern Railway are only allowed to board trains if they hold a reservation as well as a ticket, and they are being urged to sit in every seat. And so I think we should leave that one there. I think, because I wanted to talk about rules now that could relax before the start of June in Scotland. So lockdown schools are going back on schools in Scotland, I believe, are going back on the 1st of June. And this could be eased from the end of this North. And Nicola Sturgeon, she announced that the First Minister said a route that will be published on Thursday last week. And it happened last week it's happened already, but it was for a path back to normality. So I think what we'll do is then we'll leave that story there, because I want to move on to another story about a Furious Cup classic everyone had to see. So we continue to miss various sporting treats, don't we, amid the coronavirus pandemic. And the other weekend, you saw the FA Cup final. Now, the Wembley showpiece would have come half a century after a memorable breath of FA Cup final replay between Chelsea and Leeds, and both teams were among the feast in land at the time, with Leeds finishing second and Chelsea third. Now, this was behind champions Everton and Diversion 1, and it was a classic North v South battle between two clubs desperate to win their FA Cup. The first game at Wembley, which was on April the 11th, the final has been played in May ever since and was an entertaining affair. Jack Charlton headed Leeds in front in the first half with Peter Hounsman equalising just before the break. With 6 minutes remaining, Mick Jones put Leeds ahead again. That were within touching distance of the big prize. But just 2 minutes later, Ian Hutchinson headed Dave Sexton's Blues level. Now, there were no further goals during the extra time, the game finishing 2-2, and for the first time since 1912, the nation would have a replay to look forward to, to call the replay at the Old Trafford. Ever 2 weeks later, a bursting affair would hardly be doing its justice, and this wasn't as much for the faint-hearted. Now, Chelsea's wrong chopper Harris kicked out Eddie Gray. Norman Hunter and Hutchinson traded purchases a wild lunge from Eddie McCready, nearly connected with Billy Brandner's head. Now Charlton headbutted Peter Osgood, and it was X-rated staff under today's rules, and red and yellow card galore would also had done it as well. And Jones fired Leeds in front, but a diving header from Osgood 12 minutes from time set, and the game into extra time. In the disguise moment, which was a long throw from Hutchinson flickering off Charlton's head and bundled into the near by David Webb. Chelsea's cup dreams had come true, and Reeves Leeds, it was a triple heartbreak. And the FA Cup and were also knocked out by Celtic in the European Cup semi-finals. An extraordinary TV audience of 28.5 million watched the 1970 final replay with the match on BBC One and ITV. So, the only sporting event with the bigger audience in history of British television was the 1966 World Cup final between England and West Germany. Leeds and Chelsea have been trading unfriendly blows in the 50 years since that game, that if Leeds was to make it up to the top flight, except fireworks when the too old reveals it was to battle again. So, there we go. So, wow. So, okay, so let's talk about the breakout star Daisy gives New Normal a go. So, actress Daisy Edgar Jones shows what normal people get up to under this is less rigid lockdown rules, enjoying a stroll with boyfriend Tom Very Daisy, who turns 22 the other day, and a Game of Thrones star Tom, 29. They were enjoying the sun near their home in North London, keeping a social distance, of course, from other park goers. Of course, Daisy plays Marion and BBC Three's Normal People alongside TV Paul Mescal 24, and she has a few more clothes on in the pictures on there, but she did kick off flip flops to play football. Hope she didn't get cold feet, because of course she was in Cold Feet as well. I've seen her in that programme. Very good, absolutely brilliant. So, Kiss of Death for Soap Snogs. So Soap fans can kiss goodbye to on-screen snogs in the wake of COVID-19 crisis. So EastEnders and Emmerdale have banned characters locking lips due to social distancing. There will be no snogs policy in place when the show starts filming again on the 1st of June. So fans hoping for a clinch will have to wait until a vaccine is found for the virus is regulated. It means that no more shock moments like the filmed kiss on the Brookside of Albert Square's many streamly scenes. Emmerdale star Catherine Dow-Blayton, the Vicar Harriet Finch, and kissing was entirely banned in the week before lockdown. Her character had a romp in The Children with Mark Warwick, but no steamy scenes could be shown. Catherine 55 said that we were supposed to have a big snog, but we had to keep a distance and leave everything to the audience's immigration. I think that this will be the norm when we go back, and the soap incident added that this even spells the end of the holding hands. We all have to keep the 2 metre distance, and Aussie's Neighbours was the first TV drama to resume filming in the English-speaking and world last month, using camera trickery to imply intimacy. Actress Anna Friel and Nicola Stevenson They shared that the first female same-sex kiss was on Brookside in 1940, 1990.